What is going on, everybody? It's KB. Before the episode starts, make sure you go check out StreamerSZN's brand new theme music. That's right. We have full-time, brand new theme music thanks to the newest homie and newest member of the music side of Underground Sports Philadelphia homies. That is Mobley. Stay Volk. His new single is out now. It is linked in the description on YouTube, and you'll be hearing it on audio until we can figure out if we can play it on video on StreamerSZN episodes from here on out. That's our new theme music. Stay Volk. Go download it now wherever you get your music, and go check out the music video on YouTube. But now, let's get into the episode of StreamerSZN.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
And we are back. What is going on, fellow streamers? Welcome into another edition of StreamerSZN, the exclusive streaming platform, TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network that just turned 6 years old this week. And StreamerSZN just celebrated the anniversary of its Super Bowl commercial, big game commercial, Don't Sue Us NFL, that we released on 2/2/2020. So shout out to us. And,
to quote the loot bugs, yippee! Wait,
our pin tweet. So,
do you know what I referenced there?
It sounds familiar, but being that we're recording this at 11:19 at night, it's slipping my brain. Almost like
company.
Dylan's time slipping.
Still, no, Kyle. He's not time slipping anymore. He is now Loki.
It's true. He is at the center of the earth, holding every timeline together. When will we see him? The world may never know. I do know he is alive and well, though, because he did share our anniversary posts and like them on his social media profile. So he's still kicking somewhere. Whether it's the upside down or the edges of the earth, who knows? But Dylan, we miss you.
Come home, please, Dylan. We're tired of putting your name on milk cartons.
Help us, Dylan Juan Kenobi. You're
our
only hope.
Go Limit!
I love you. I know.
And this is what happens when you record at 11:20 at night, folks.
At night.
Around town.
Stop on your right foot. Don't forget it.
Hash slinging slash slinging
slash bringing the hash ringing.
Christ, we're
nose for rack 2.
It took us 2.5 minutes and we're already off the rails. Just like I said, this is great. This is
cue the
splendid.
Thomas the Tank Engine music.
No. It has to specifically be the Thomas the Tank Engine Harry Potter meme. You know exactly the one I'm talking about, right? Yeah. I think it's the second film.
Yes.
Or is it the third? Where they missed the train.
I think it's the second.
I don't remember.
My sister's gonna kill me for not knowing this.
Don't let her see it, Kyle.
Sarah, just fast forward past this part of the podcast. You didn't see anything. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
I'm a giraffe.
All hail the New York Giants. New York Giants!
I like to move it. Off the rails, folks. Welcome to Late Night Podcasting, brought to you by USP ASMR Edition. What do you say, Kyle?
Don't!
I want my donuts. Where are my donuts? Where is my Duff beer? Where is my Pawtucket Brewery beer? Where is my talking dog and my talking baby?
Now this is the clip, and we just put it side by side with every show and movie we just mentioned.
Stan, relax. No. Stan? No. Francine? Francine? Is that you? Bart? Stewie? Old Man Jenkins? Leroy Jenkins? Okay, I'm done with the bit now.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Kyle, it's almost like wow, it's almost like I'm back to selling jet skis. Wow. Oh no. Maybe I'm a reporter for a newspaper. Oh. Or maybe my brother's a tennis player. Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Cut
Christ.
out.
Chick Cake's here.
Can't spell mater without the duh.
Here's your sign. Okay, let's quickly get this back on track.
We got a fun show planned for you. We're talking some television. We're talking some sports and streaming business news, and we'll get into the streaming platform Multiverse news and notes as well. But before we get into all of them, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at StreamerSZN on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, and at StreamerSZN Pod on TikTok. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. You can follow Christian on Twitter at thewiz_PHI. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the podcast feed on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Goes a long way for helping the show. Continuing to get into the universes of everyone's podcast feeds helps us continue to hit those charts and lets us continue to make magic happen in the streaming platform Multiverse. And of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's where you get full video episodes of this show, every show on our network, live streams, shorts, clips, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. We're currently at 740 YouTube subscribers. Let's get to 800 before the end of the month. Help us hit some new milestones. And Christian, I was talking to DJ. Oddly enough, it's about another place that has ice and islands involved.
The country?
Not Alaska, but I was doing some research and watching a couple of YouTubers, and obviously we want to hit 1,000 subscribers is the first big time milestone, so we can fully monetize the channel. But then we're plaque chasing, and we're trying to get to 100K. But after that, the next milestone, I think we're gonna put a map of Iceland up somewhere in the studio once we hit it, because the most attainable YouTube subscriber count is the population of Iceland, which is a little bit, it's 372,000, a little more than that subscribers, which I think is attainable down the line. But once we are more populated on the YouTube channel than Iceland, I'll feel really accomplished that we outpopulate a country.
Hey, if all we need to reach that goal, July 4th, 2026, USA versus England in Philadelphia, the content that will be achieved that day will be unimaginable.
Do you want me to put you down soft or put you down hard?
Put me down die hard, baby.
Well, we talked about that exact happening with the scriptwriters for the World Cup on the main pod on Wednesday night, and Matt was telling me, unfortunately, the World Cup is trying to keep everyone that is in their group in regions, and allegedly the U.S. already has a match in Seattle and 2 in Los Angeles.
Shh. I know it. Will you just let it happen? Just let it happen.
I mean, I would love it. We need it. It would be fantastic.
Hey. Or we just get some other really fun country rivalry thing where we can wander around the parking lot and get up to weird bullshit.
That too. Um, so yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can have that happen.
England versus France. England versus Brazil. England versus Argentina.
I mean, at that point, we'd have to root for Brazil because technically it's Philadelphia's team with the Eagles playing their week one of the NFL season. But yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel and get your merch at phiapparel.co, the exclusive merch home for StreamerSZN and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Get your shirts, your hoodies. It's the most comfortable hoodie I own. It's one of my favorite hoodies in my entire hoodie repertoire. It's still hoodie season. February's here. It's still cold outside. Get your hoodies, get your shirts. Go to phiapparel.co. Stand out in the crowd, whether you're going to the movie theater, binge watching at home to stay comfy, hanging out with friends and having a movie night, whatever it may be. Rock your StreamerSZN merch while you're doing it. phiapparel.co. Use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your orders. Goes a long way for helping us continue to do awesome stuff. It's an effective and super direct way to support everything we're doing. So phiapparel.co. Get your StreamerSZN merch. Code UNDERGROUND, 10% off your order. Christian, before we even get into Masters of the Air, you went to the Rewatchables live show.
Yes.
Talk about it. How was it? Obviously, the live podcast game has taken a life of its own over the past couple of years, but how was the Rewatchables in person?
It was a blast. Van Lathan, God bless him, was off the fucking rails. It was Van playing the race card is one of the funniest things, because he just gets to bully Bill. There were some absolutely hilarious Van moments too, where it was talk about was Adonis Creed's mother a Black Russian? Rocky and Apollo made out after Rocky 3. Just look at the beach scene. That was another Van. Another Van moment. Chris Ryan causing Bill Simmons to almost walk off stage for calling Super Bowl 52 the best Philadelphia movie. And the crowd was great. It was fun. It was a blast. Aside from the two people from the two early 50s, late 40s people sitting next to me from Boston who were talking very loudly as if trying to tell them on stage that they were wrong as they were watching the Lakers Celtics game on one of their phones.
Nice.
So yeah, but I had a blast. It was fun. It was wonderful.
So yeah, we'll get into Masters of the Air, the new-ish show. Started at the end of January, so it's only a couple weeks old.
It's 2 weeks.
Third
Started
episode
on the
came out
the 28th.
Yeah, because they did a 2-episode premiere.
2? But there's 4 out now.
Part 4 comes out by the time everyone's listening to this.
Okay, sure, fine, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they did 2 episodes on January 26th, and then the 2nd of February was episode 3. We're gonna do the first episode this week, and then dive into it more in depth. Moving forward, it is a 9-part series. Ends on March 15th. Shout out to my sister. It's her birthday.
Come on the pod.
Executive producer Steven Spielberg, who, Christian, I don't know if you saw this, was in Vineland like last week at Mike Trout and Tiger Woods golf course.
Oh. Okay.
I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
the big three.
To be fair to him, he did spend his early years like not too far from here.
Yeah.
Not too far from me not too far from me at least, but in case people don't know, because Steven Spielberg is executive producing, this is kind of the third, third, third or fourth, I can't remember which at this point, series in the lineage of Band of Brothers and third. Okay, so it's just Band of Brothers and the Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was talking to Casey and Owen, our F1 podcast hosts tonight. We had a content meeting for their show, and Casey just started watching it. Owen's watching it.
we got to drag them in for the final episode then.
So they are all in on it, and
Austin Butler, baby.
yeah, we'll
Callum
get
Turner.
into Austin Butler on this. As everyone who knows me knows, I am a huge World War II historical savant. I enjoy learning about World War II in the best way and educational ways. Obviously, none of that creepy wacko shit. But it is like my favorite time period in history to like just always learn about and learn new things about. So it's right up my alley. Tom Hanks also executive producer, and you can tell as soon as that first beat drops in the first song that it is Tom Hanks related. Budget for this show, $250 million. You can kind of tell off rip.
That good old Apple money, baby.
Yeah, good old Apple money.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I'm just gonna pull this up. So, oh no, that's two. Okay, so like if we think of it like this, how much does a season of Stranger Things cost? So, the last season was about 30 million per episode, and how many episodes were there, Kyle? 12?
For Masters of the Air.
No, for Stranger
for
Things.
Stranger Things, per season it's been like 8, 9.
So let's just say 9. That's 270 million. So I just kind of think like that's standard operating procedure for these big series, and plus this is something that Apple's going to push out. Like this is Apple's new awards play, and albeit through one episode, I don't think it's going to win any awards because, spoiler, HBO and Apple are going to come barreling down that door. But it's nice to see shows that cost a lot of money and you can see it on screen and feel good about seeing it on screen. Because you see plenty of $250 million movies and you go, where'd the money go, though?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I mean, some of that money definitely went to part of this cast because obviously you got Austin Butler.
Well, see, here's the thing with that, though. I'm gonna pull up the exact filming of this, but this was before the big. This was before the big Austin Butler boom.
Before Hannah Montana?
Come on, I'm talking about I'm talking about the big Elvis boom because okay, so this began production in February 2021. Elvis movie was released in 2022. So he had basically filmed. He had filmed. I'm pretty sure he had filmed Elvis, and I'm pretty sure he had filmed Elvis at that point. So that was known in the ether. but this was his next thing that he filmed. So this was like you. This was the pre Austin Butler boom thing. It's and I'll just touch on this now before we get into it. This was supposed to come out last year. Like this has been a long gestating thing. It was not explained why it was delayed to this year, despite it being in Apple TV's teaser reel at the start of last year. But the people who know a thing or two, and I'm not talking about insiders, I'm talking about people who, like me, who follow this stuff. The general theory is that if you look at the people listed with credits on Masters of the Air, specifically in like producing and directing and stuff, you'll notice the name Kari Joji Fukunawa, who's directing the first 4 episodes. And let's just say he's had a little controversial spat. In terms of misconduct allegations that came out in April and May of 2022. So I'm not saying that's what caused this to be delayed, but I'm not saying that maybe didn't play a part to where things went quiet.
Mm-hmm. Big yikes. But yeah, Austin Butler, Barry Keoghan, and it's very funny that this show was in the works well before both of them were on their
no.
giant build-ups.
No,
I mean, Barry obviously had his moments beforehand, but like,
yeah, like
he's in the pop culture zeitgeist like full send now.
I blame Saltburn, which is not a good movie, but we don't need to talk about that. But
and he also, like, obviously being in a Marvel movie, whether it's good or bad, like, your face is out there, and he was one of the better parts of the Eternals. And then, obviously, he's the Joker, baby.
Yeah, like for all of us, like Barry really broke out in 2017 when he showed up in when he showed up in the Yorgos Lanthimos film Killing of the Sacred Deer, and he was also in, for all of us beloved Nolan heads, Dunkirk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he's been on quite what'll be by the end of this year quite a 21, 2, 3 on quite a 4-year run.
And it kind of got kickstarted a little bit. He was in 2 episodes of Chernobyl, which is one of Dylan's favorite shows.
Chernobyl's so fucking good. It's so good.
So yeah, Barry, Austin Butler, Callum Turner, Anthony Boyle, Sawyer Spielberg, also.
Meh. Steven, fine, sure. Like, to be honest, you could show me a picture of like 10 show me a picture of 10 people and ask me to pick out Sawyer Spielberg, and I probably couldn't pick it out.
I'll do you one better. I didn't even know Sawyer Spielberg existed until I was reading the cast list. No offense to Sawyer, but
what I'm trying to figure out is, I know Ncuti Gatwa's supposed to be in this, but I don't see his name listed anywhere on the Wikipedia thing.
Who is it?
Ncuti Gatwa. At least I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be in it. Ncuti Gatwa.
I did just laugh because there's a guest appearance from Lauren McQueen, and my dumbass brain read it as Lightning McQueen.
Ncuti Gatwa, stage. Yeah. He's in Masters of the Air. The general theory, the current general theory is he plays a Tuskegee Airman, because in the trailers for the show you see parts where there's a lot of black characters, So that's the general theory, but obviously we've only seen one episode so far, so I can't tell you. But it's weird that he's not listed on the Wikipedia page, or I may just be missing it entirely.
Some other things before we dive into this. It is pretty interesting that this is one of the shows that, and I guess Apple's kind of been on this kick, but I've seen Apple strictly advertise recently on podcasts in particular specific shows or movies that have come out on their platform. And I know Netflix has done that in the past, but I've seen it a lot recently with Apple. The what the hell is his name? Marky Mark. The movie that he had come out on Apple TV.
Oh, Family Plan.
Yeah, that got advertised a ton on podcasts, and then Masters of the Air was next on that list. So it's kind of Apple's marketing scheme is to advertise on the big podcasts.
I would say it's not necessarily a Apple thing, but especially on Ringer podcasts, it's become a thing. Do you listen to The Town?
No.
Okay, so that's like a media and Hollywood business podcast. I think you'd really enjoy it. But he was during the big award season run, he was doing ad reads for Maestro. And in the build up to Emmys, he was doing ad reads for whatever the Harrison Ford 1918-24 thing is. On the big picture, they've done ad reads for IMAX and other things. So I generally find that companies are getting smart with these podcasts, and it's not surprising that Apple's maybe starting to figure it out. But also, Apple is the worst marketing of what I call the big three. Well, I guess it's technically the big four, even though I think Disney doesn't make Disney's content is both not consistent enough and not of high enough quality, which is why I really want to say big three being Netflix, Max, and Apple, because Apple stuff is actual high quality. It's just they don't have as much volume as the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I still think Netflix has too much of a volume problem. And then Max is meet you in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the ads for Master of the Air and for the Family Affair, was Mark Wahlberg's movie.
Yeah.
It was on Part of My Take, which is a predominantly sports podcast. So they were getting that, and then I've seen Peacock most recently advertising the TED series on a bunch of Barstool podcasts in particular. So it is interesting seeing the streaming platforms advertising not just their platform, but specific shows that they want out there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
I would
the approach.
I would just like to note that I was the first person who introduced you to the Masters of the Air. So it's nice to be able to talk about it with you.
Yes. So Christian, why don't you give the people a rundown, kind of the premise of the show? We talked about it in our looking forward to, but
yeah, I think this was top 3.
Yeah.
Something like that. Check the tape.
Run it back.
So this is kind of back into a Band of Brothers-esque thing in that, congrats, you're dealing with Americans in World War II, except this time it's centered around bomber pilots who are going into German-occupied Europe, with the central two being Major Gail Bucky Cleven, played by Austin Butler, and Major Gail Buck Cleven, played by Austin Butler, and Major John Bucky Egan, played by Callum Turner. And obviously, these missions are dangerous, and this obviously is like showing the psychological impacts upon these soldiers.
Yeah, and I mean the B-17 Boeing is featured in this
Prominently.
One of the big dogs. But yeah, this is like Christian mentioned, this is a companion to Band of Brothers from 2001 and The Pacific from 2010. And when I was talking to Casey about this tonight, she was like, kind of recommend Band of Brothers first, then watching this, and then The Pacific, especially because The Pacific is a little more gory in terms of what happens because it takes place in Japan. So take that for what you will, depending on your levels of gore tolerance.
Steven Spielberg World War II industrial complex. Can we quickly unpack the Steven Spielberg World War II canon at this point?
Go for it.
Which, albeit he's only an executive producer on this, but I mean it's a Steven Spielberg project. Let's be honest with each other. Spielberg filmography.
I'm just waiting for one of the Boeing B-17s to fly across and we see E.T. and Elliot in the bike.
For fuck's sake. Do we need to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of being a World War II movie because Nazis?
It's a good point. Never thought of that. That's a great point.
Empire of the Sun, set in Japan. World War II. Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan. Bridge of Spies is Cold War, but still. Spielberg also produced Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. It's like, Steven, would you like to tell us something, buddy? Would you like to tell us something?
Yeah.
Why do you get involved with so many war films and so many war projects? Would you like to talk about it by chance?
Steven, are you okay?
Anyway.
But yeah, Masters of the Air. We're going to talk about episode 1. But before we get into it, Christian, just your initial thoughts on the first episode, kind of your takeaways from the kickoff.
My initial thoughts is this is an extremely solid show. If we're being honest, even though the first episode's like an hour and change, we don't have much to go on this podcast. We don't have that. Like stuff happens, but we can't this isn't like a true pilot that gets you in there. It's just a lot of table setting, a lot of kind of setting things forward. And yes, we do have the big part at the end. But even then, we don't quite have enough felt out yet to give a true judgment. But I do think that this will be probably one of the better shows we talk about this year.
Yeah, it was solid. There were moments where I kind of had to pause it and recollect because, like we were mentioning, for me at least, I don't know if this happened for you. The Elvis voice was still coming through a little on Austin Butler.
I don't have a problem with it, man. Like,
As someone who, and I saw John Boy talk about this too, and it kind of made me wish that like I didn't hear the clip from John Boy before watching this, but he said, because John Boy's like me, like he enjoys like the World War II history stuff. It's sometimes tough because it's Austin Butler and you know he's this big star now that you can tell he's a guy acting, and it kind of has moments where it's tough to like immerse yourself into the time period of it happening because you know it's Austin Butler.
I'll just counter that by saying I don't think the accent's a problem because he's playing a character from Wyoming.
It just shined through, and I was like ready to put on my blue suede shoes sometimes. Not that I'm not saying it was like awful, but it was just oh, there's the Elvis. No wonder he got the voice coach to help him get rid of it.
It's not quite the Elvis accent, but it pops out every so often.
It's like when somebody from South Jersey or Philly has a Delco accent and it comes out.
Oi.
Yeah, bro, we gotta go to Angelo's. Get us some cheesesteaks.
Delco Danny, is that you?
The real ones know. Let's go to the phones. So yeah, these are all kind of just titled Part 1, Part 2, subsequently going all the way to Part 9. This one has a teleplay by John Orloff and the story by John Sheben, who worked in both capacities as a writer and producer on The X-Files, The Lone Gunman, Star Trek Enterprise, Smallville, Supernatural, Legend of the Seeker, Breaking Bad, and The Vampire Diaries. Quite a roster of projects to have worked on. So the mini write-up here, in spring 1943, the USAA, Majors Gail Clevin and John Egan of the 100th Bombardment Group deployed to England to join the Allied war effort against Nazi Germany. In June, the 100th, comprising 4 squadrons of B-17s from RAF base Thorpe Abbotts, is sent on a daytime bombing mission to destroy military targets in Bremen, Germany. Despite use of the advanced Norden bomb sight, the Bombardiers. That is such a word that you need to put a monocle on and be like the fancy Winnie the Pooh meme. Bombardiers.
Yes, Bombardiers.
Oh, the Bombardiers.
Can I get some honey with that by chance?
They are unable to confirm the targets due to heavy cloud cover, and the mission is aborted. The 100th is forced to fly through heavy anti-aircraft fire and then is attacked by Luftwaffe fighter pilots, and the failed mission results in the loss of 3 planes and 30 men, while Group CO, Colonel Harold Huglin, is relieved of command after suffering a burst stomach ulcer. It is an interesting take on like the World War II era where you don't traditionally get like the pilot aspect when you get a lot of World War II era shows or movies.
Boots on the ground, baby.
It is a lot of boots on the ground type of stuff.
Which Kyle, if you haven't seen it, even though Dunkirk literally is like literally 3 different stories, sea, ground, and air, I would recommend watching Dunkirk because I find the air section quite good, and also you quietly have Tom Hardy and Jack Lowden playing pilots, and you barely know it's them.
I do like the sound of that. Before we keep moving, I just wanted to get your kind of expertise, being the movie savant that you are. What other World War II era movies have you delved into?
Involving pilots? Or
Or
just
just in
World War
general?
II in general? Okay. Pulling up the letterbox list, boys.
But you can follow us on Letterboxd as well. StreamerSZN.
Just sort by highest rated because that's how I'm going to get to. Question: does Oppenheimer count as a World War II film?
It's a good
Okay.
question. I'd say yes to a degree.
So for people who haven't watched the zone of the zone of interest, I suggest you quickly run out to a theater right now and see it because it is what's right with this? It's somehow more grim than Schindler's List.
Jesus.
Yes, it is a very grim film. Keep going through my list. A Matter of Life and Death is kind of a World War II film. I don't want to try and explain why because it's a weird one. Obviously, our beloved Inglourious Bastards. Casablanca is technically a World War II film. Thin Red Line's a World War II film. That's also a great one. Keep going to my Letterboxd list. Lawrence of Arabia is World War One, I think, so that doesn't count. Click to my second page of 5 stars. Strangers on a Train's not World War. Could have Mulholland Drive. Zodiac's not World War. Apocalypse Now is Vietnam, so that doesn't count. God, obviously Saving Private Ryan. I don't need to explain that. Do I, Kyle?
Don't think you do.
God, I desperately wish there was a way. Oh, I totally forgot there was a war movie filter. Oh, Come and See, which is a Russian language film from World War II set in Belarus. That's maybe one of the more depressing ones. That's World War II. Jojo Rabbit's World War II, but I don't need to unpack that. Bridge on the River Kwai, also World War II. The Great Escape, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's but it's a classic. Fury. Doctor Strangelove's not World War II. Going with the one Civil War. Hacksaw. Is Hacksaw Ridge World War or is that Vietnam? I forget. Either way. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, which is an interesting World War II film.
Hacksaw Ridge is World War II.
Okay. Is Manhunt, which is this interesting 1941 thriller. Night Train to Munich, which is like one of my guilty pleasure older films in terms of movies that, while they don't fully hold up to like modern standards, that is something. Do you remember the movie Defiance?
One of my favorite movies.
It's a movie I was shown in high school.
Same. I had a Holocaust history class, and it was one of the movies we watched.
Yeah. So somehow in every history class I had in high school, we were never shown Schindler's List, but we were shown Defiance. Whatever.
Defiance is awesome.
And then probably my guilty pleasure World War II film, because I care about the sentimental cause, The Monuments Men. So yeah, I've
you seen The Pianist?
That's
Brody.
I believe I was shown that in high school, but I literally haven't watched it. So I haven't officially logged it. And then even though it's not about the actual people, boots on the ground, Imitation Game.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
Pianist is really good.
Yeah,
that's another one that I watched in my Holocaust history class.
Yeah, there's a lot of good World War II movies. There's a lot of good Vietnam War movies. Once you leave those two wars, it kind of gets a little Cold War movies, and then it gets bare.
Yeah, can't leave out Rocky 4.
Rocky solves communism and creates peace in Cold War. Yeah.
In Soviet Russia, communism and Rocky. Rocky no end communism.
Rocky fights in Russia for no money? Why? Back on topic.
Masters of the Air. Do we deliver a spoiler warning for this one?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched this 2-3 week old episode of Masters of the Air, quickly pause this podcast, watch it, come back. Or if you really don't care, just keep listening to this and we'll be talking about Masters of the Air. Sound good, everyone? Okay. This is your spoiler warning. Beep.
Before we get into it, I do have to mention something that I just saw pop up on my timeline. There's apparently a brewery that the name of the place is called Dr. Brew Little. I enjoyed the episode. It had moments where it was like it started to lose me a little bit, but then I got right back on. I don't know if part 2 is going to be similar to other shows we've watched that have done the 2-part release where like they're kind of like a combination type situation, but I enjoyed it. It had a lot of like the World War II elements, obviously. Was it the best, premiere episode of a show we've ever watched? No, not in my book, but it was solid.
I feel like I'm gonna be higher on this than you, judging by how you're talking about it.
And I didn't hate it. I think it was really well done. It was visually pleasing, and like they did a lot of really good things to set the tone. But like you said, it was a lot of table setting, and I know there's going to be people out there who want a first episode to kind of draw you into what you're going to be getting and not kind of laying out all of the silverware on the table at first. They want to have a little bit of a meal ready for you. But I thought it was solid across the board.
Yeah, like I generally give shows like this more credit for actually having a tangible, good-looking world, because too many times shows like this can just go and have okay-looking CGI and kind of ruins the whole thing. But like even in the limited time we see of everyone kind of scattered everywhere, you can feel the camaraderie. Mm-hmm. Like these feel like soldiers who have spent time together, who have spent time in training together. So there's already the authentic feel. We're just waiting for the story to fully kick into gear.
Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was good. I'm excited to keep watching it to see how it continues to progress. But Christian, what is your score for part 1 of Masters of the Air?
I'm going to leave myself some wiggle room here to go up and go down as we go along. 7-9. Even though I want to go 8, I want to leave myself a little wiggle room to go up and go down because I feel like this is a good start, but I feel like there could be lower lows, but also I feel like the rest of the 8 episodes could be better than this, and I feel like if I put it at an 8, I'm like I don't love this as much.
Yeah, I'm almost right around where you're at. I'm at a 7-7. I think it did a lot of things really well. And like you said, I want to leave room for improvement, being that this is just one episode. But a very solid, kickoff to the show. Rotten Tomatoes, from the critics' reviews, there were 83 of them off rip, and it was an 86% with an average rating of 8 out of 10. And then Metacritic gave it a score of 73 out of 100 from 40 critics. So, I mean, we're right in the middle of that pack there.
Yeah.
So 7.7 and a 7.9, that means 7.8 to kick off Masters of the Air. Let's move to sports and streaming, Christian.
Cable version 2.
It is brought to you by Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. From sunglasses to blue light glasses to prescription lenses, they've got you covered with a high-quality product for a fraction of the price of the big eyewear companies. I've been wearing my blue light glasses like crazy lately because my eyes have been getting super strained from staring at screens, from editing, watching shows and movies. You want to protect your eyes. Get those blue light glasses. They are absolutely game changers, and obviously they got the prescription lenses now, so if you need a prescription, they got you covered. Go to TomahawkShades.com or download the Tomahawk Shades app in the App Store or Google Play Store, and when you go to checkout, use code USP for 25% off your order. And I'm just saying, their winter sale is going on right now in the app, and you can get up to 85% off. Big deal. That's a big deal. But anytime, anywhere, any place, TomahawkShades.com or the Tomahawk Shades app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and use code USP for 25% off your order. Christian, I found out about this news initially because my Disney stock skyrocketed. Allegedly, ESPN, Fox Sports, which for everyone that doesn't know, same company, and Warner Brothers. Disney owns Fox Sports. Which is kind of wild, but the big three are meeting at the table to come to an agreement on their sports streaming packages.
Yep.
We are so close to going back to cable, everybody.
You're basically there because, and again, people have been saying this for years at this point, that streaming's just a reskinned cable bundle.
Mm-hmm.
And give it another few years, you'll basically be paying the equivalent of a cable bundle in streaming services.
Yep. And I mean, most people probably are right now, depending on what you have a subscription for.
And like, here's the thing. I mean this in the nicest way possible in terms of people cutting the cord and stuff. You do realize that even with doing linear, if you get certain things in your linear package, you do get streaming services with them.
Yep, I have about 4 from my cable package that we have here. I get Netflix, Max, Peacock, and one other one that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, mine is Netflix, Max, Showtime, which is basically Paramount, but
I'm gonna call them out on this podcast. It's a streaming platform podcast, so I'm gonna do it here.
Do it.
Paramount Plus. What up? How we doing? My dad has been trying to watch the new Mission Impossible for the last 2 weeks.
No, we're not doing this.
And Paramount, anytime he tries to log in and click on it, it says there's an issue. They are trying to resolve it, and it has been over 2 weeks that has been occurring. Full send, full stop, can't watch anything on Paramount. We're logged into the account that is being paid for, Paramount Plus. I'm gonna need some answers. I think you're one of the most underrated streaming platforms out there, if not the most underrated. But I'm gonna need some answers because we can't be having this. You can't be having the OG upset that he can't watch his Mission Impossible.
So the interesting thing with Paramount is they probably have the worst new content, but they have probably the second best back catalog to Max.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fucking shame.
It's amazing that like all the Nickelodeon, the Beavis and Butthead.
Forget that. Twilight Zone, Hawaii
That too.
5-0. Like
You didn't let me finish. All the seasons of Survivor.
God.
And I do gotta say,
You do got to say.
they dished out one of the best commercials I've seen in a long time recently.
Which one's that?
Did you use the new commercial with Sir Patrick Stewart, Hey Arnold,
Yeah.
Jeff Probst, and Creed?
Who can take me home?
Tua, and then Peppa Pig makes an appearance, Master Chief. It was extremely well done. But hey, Paramount Plus, hit my line. We need to get this resolved because I am truly over hearing the OG complain about how he can't watch Paramount Plus, and we're paying for it. Save me.
Sending out an SOS.
But yes, ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery announced on Tuesday of this week that we're recording this to launch a sports streaming platform in the fall that will include offerings from at least 15 networks and all 4 major professional sports leagues. A one-stop app to view most sports should be a welcome sight for fans who continue to navigate rising costs by subscribing to multiple services. Kevin Krim, the president and CEO of the ad measurement firm EDO, compared the 3 companies teaming up for sports to what some networks did when Hulu started in 2008.
And we all know how that turned out, don't we?
My sense is knowing the cast of characters, they're looking at the original Hulu concept and thinking, well, that worked out really well for us, so let's do that again, but for live sports streaming, he said.
That worked out really well for us. Can we quickly unpack that? Because now who owns the entirety of Hulu? Who owns the entirety of Hulu? Do we need to talk about this?
Disney World, the big mouse in the sky. Quote, the new sports service exemplifies our ability as an industry to drive innovation and provide consumers with more choice, enjoyment, and value, and we're thrilled to deliver it to sports fans, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav said in a statement. The platform will include games from the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, WNBA, NASCAR, and college sports, including the men's and women's NCAA tournament, as well as golf, tennis, and the FIFA World Cup. It will include offerings from 15 linear networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, ESPN News, ABC, Fox, FS1, FS2, Big Ten Network, TNT, TBS, and True TV.
That's a lot of words there.
A lot of acronyms.
That's a lot of alphabet soup there, brother.
And as Jameis Winston said, we only eat in W's. Subscribers would also have the ability to bundle the product with Disney Plus, Hulu, and or Max.
The bundle.
Now, I do find that part interesting, that you have the option of what platform to bundle it in with. But it is interesting that, and I mean, it is no coincidence that the announcement of the bundle also comes as ESPN and Warner Brothers Discovery are preparing to enter negotiations to renew their NBA rights, which expire at the end of next season.
It's almost like that's why they're doing it.
And
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? What I tell you?
Didn't I try to tell you? I tried to tell you a long time ago. Another quote from Krim. To me, the thing that's triggering all of this is the NBA. We see time and time again that the NBA is the second best franchise on TV behind the NFL. You're sort of staring at the renegotiation and the new bids coming in that could include Google, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, and others. It's a good way to team up and stay competitive. ESPN has also been searching for strategic partners as it prepares to launch a direct-to-consumer product in the next year or two.
Good for them.
Interesting times. I mean, I know we traditionally are talking about shows and movies on here, but streaming and sports is a huge portion of the streaming platform world. It is an interesting kind of like team up between Disney and Warner Brothers to kind of come to the table together and say, hey, let's go fight off the Googles and the Amazons from stealing our NBA away from us.
Kumbaya.
One that I didn't really see coming. I don't know how I feel about this because, like I said, it is all too hilarious that it is pushing us closer and closer to just resetting the whole thing and cable being back. Not that it ever left my household, but
Exactly.
you know, all these people who did in years past cut the cord, quote unquote, and went no cable, streaming services only, whatever it may be. Pretty soon you're going to be close to saying cable is a cheaper option.
Yep.
And I mean, you know, in our lifetime, what has Netflix gone from a $5 a month subscription to now pushing $20 a month?
Or more.
Or more. All these streaming platforms now cracking down on password sharing too. Like, you're killing your product to your consumers, and people are gonna say, you know what, fuck you. I'm gonna cancel it. I'm gonna save money, and I'll just go back to cable. Because now you're implementing all these other, you know, levels
Guardrails.
of your streaming platform too, where now with Amazon you got to pay an extra $3 a month to not have commercials.
Yeah, see, I've at least used Prime since they put that in. Have you?
My parents have, so I've seen it like pop up, and
At least in terms of when I used it, I think it was like only at the very start was
okay,
when I got ads, which
that's whatever.
yeah, like I only care about ads if I'm getting ad breaks in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're throwing ads at the start, I don't care. Give me 2.5 minutes of ads. Just let me watch my thing straight through. Like, cheers.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it at the beginning, give me time to make my popcorn, get my snacks ready. Fine. But if you're gonna put it in the middle and it's like cutting off the pace of the show or movie that I'm watching,
We needs to have a conversation in that case.
then we're gonna have to crack down and put some things into place. Because we can't be having, you know, Saturday afternoon TBS movie type commercials popping up on the streaming platforms.
No. No can do, sir.
That's got to be the worst commercial break situation, is the TNT TBS Saturday afternoon movie.
100%.
It's like every 10 minutes. Right before the plot takes off. Boom. Jake from State Farm. Right before the next development. Right before the next development. Boom. Fucking cell phone commercial. It's crazy how many commercials they show.
The more the merrier.
But yeah, what are your overall takes on this streaming with sports matchup that is inevitably on its way, allegedly by fall 2024?
I mean, I don't have much to say that has not already been said. We've known something like this was probably going to happen. It was just more of a question of when rather than how.
Mhm.
Albeit this how is a little surprising.
Yeah.
If we're being 100% honest.
Yeah. So let us know in the YouTube comment section or in the podcast reviews how you feel about the sports and streaming news. But without any further ado, let's get to everybody's favorite segment. It is the Streaming Platform Multiverse News and Notes, brought to you by our pals over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, only 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs, and they are one of our partners for our live tailgate podcast series during baseball season. So if you're going to be in the Philadelphia area on March 30th, 2024, come on out to Philly's opening night, hang out with the crew. We will be there, putting on an absolute scene like we did last year, just bigger and better.
Fiesta.
They're the best. Go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and Maryland areas. Must be 21 or older to do so, and of course, please drink responsibly. Christian, I know you're not a Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon type of person, but HBO, according to the Hollywood Reporter, is developing a Game of Thrones series around Aegon's quest, and developing it is Mattson Tomlin, who people may know from The Batman.
To which I respond, go right ahead.
This one is very funny. Fantastic Four director Matt Shakman's Instagram account has been deleted.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier, he shared a post saying Pedro Pascal is playing Reed Richards, to which our friends over at Culture Crave tweeted kind of like the blurred, if you know the blurred Mr. Krabs meme, it's a blurred Kevin Feige meme with a gun in his hands and the red laser beam eyes.
Yeah. I would just like to touch on this one here. Universal's talking to David Leitch about making a Jurassic World movie. David Leitch, what the fuck has happened to you, buddy? You co-directed the first John Wick film, you make Atomic Blonde, you make Deadpool 3, and now we're on a run of Bullet Train, The Fall Guy, and potentially a Jurassic World movie. What happened?
This one's interesting. Sunflower from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is officially 20 times platinum. It's the first single ever to reach double diamond status.
Damn,
son, where'd you find this? According to Michael Chiklis, who played the Thing in the Fantastic Four, says he's not returning as the Thing in Deadpool 3. A fake picture went viral. Quote, I do know who they're casting, though, in the MCU. Not my place to tell, but I will say this. I'm a fan of his work, and I wish him luck and success with it. Plot twist. It's him. I also love how a fan-made logo for Deadpool 3 made its way onto a Kevin Feige hat and is now being used as one of the logos for the movie. It's half Deadpool, half Wolverine.
A little bit.
Christopher Nolan was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
As my friend and I constantly love to text each other, Christopher Nolan loves to surprise you with his like weird ass guilty pleasure American comedy movie taste, where it's like, I will talk waxingly about Stanley Kubrick. Oh, and I also love Talladega Nights and the Fast and Furious movies. Like, pardon? Huh?
Christian Bale, going full on Bruce Wayne, is building 12 foster homes that aim to keep siblings in the foster care system together and under the same roof. He started working on the project 16 years ago, and a quote from Christian Bale says, I hope that this village will be the first of many, and I hope that people come join us in opening our eyes to what's happening right under our noses. These are our children, and we must help our children. Shout out to Christian Bale, man of the people.
I was talking about this with a friend, but it's really interesting because Bale is one of the actors who's just generally a great person, but also does not want the fame.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bale just loves acting, and so it's fascinating to see something like this where Bale is kind of very publicly talking about this, and it kind of runs counter to what he generally does. If I can pull up my text thread with my friend, give me 1 second, because from earlier today, because we cited a few specific actors. Oh, Harrison Ford, anyone? And then also in terms of other actors with films this year, Cillian Murphy. Dude literally has no social media.
Yeah.
He's just like, leave me and my family alone. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Shout out to Christian Bale, man. Denzel Washington will star in Spike Lee's High and Low for A24.
I don't know how to feel about this.
It will release theatrically, then eventually end up on Apple TV.
Again, I don't know how to feel about this because I assume some people don't know. This was already remade into a TV series not even 2 years ago in Soderbergh's Full Circle for Max, and now we're just remaking it again. And now I'll give him credit. It's Spike Lee, like it should be good in theory, but I'm just like, I don't like what. Why are we remaking one of Akira Kurosawa's most acclaimed films? And yes, it's Spike Lee doing it, so it won't be an utter travesty. But guys, please stop. Get help. Stop doing this for me.
Christian, for the first time since 2001, a new category has been added to the Oscars.
Well, added in 2025 or so
2026.
2026 films of 2025.
The Oscars is adding a Best Casting Award.
I mean, it's long overdue, but we're still waiting for you guys to add stunts now. Come on. Add best stunt. Do it. But adding casting it is a logical next step because it's already used in a lot of smaller award shows. So it's nice to see them finally add something new and fresh. That we can also spend basically 6 months arguing about, and then spend the month leading up to the Oscars knowing, oh, it's probably gonna be this, because the Oscars need to be like the weekend after the Super Bowl, because it's predictable by that point, because every precursor on Earth has happened, and then by basically the Monday before the Oscars, you can probably pick 95% of the show correctly. Like, no.
Earlier this week, the legend, the GOAT himself, celebrated his 92nd birthday. Shout out to John Williams, the GOAT, 92 years young.
In other news, Tom Holland's going back to doing serious acting and is playing Romeo in a production of Romeo and Juliet on the West End this summer.
Fun.
I was having, again, I talk a lot with this one friend, but we are both like, Tom Holland has, for someone who has as much star power, has had a horrific career outside of Spider-Man. Like truly his best performance was when he was like 12 and he 12, and he did that, and he did The Impossible, which is that movie about about that tsunami that happened. Because he did Cherry, he did Devil All the Time, he did, what was it, that Netflix series? I forget what streamer it was for, that didn't end up doing well.
Uncharted.
That's just disappointing. And it's just like, buddy, I don't want to tell you to fire your agent, but you need better project selection, my man. Like, you are a song and dance man. Like, I know you're supposedly working on a Fred Astaire biopic, but you need to do more song and dance shit. So I suggest you find some more musical adaptations to do.
Is it fair to say Tom Holland's second best performance behind Spider-Man is his absolutely incredibly
Second best
viral?
behind Spider-Man?
Yeah, so obviously Spider-Man being like his magnum opus so far, but
No,
second best.
It's his signature. It's not his best.
Well, I'm saying his second best is his absolutely electric dance moves and choreography.
Yeah,
to
Umbrella.
Umbrella by Rihanna. Empire Magazine is teasing they're dropping Star Wars news at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Friday
Don't care.
with just the text "Hello there." ...
Oh wait, don't tell me we're actually getting Obi-Wan season 2.
I don't know what it is. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to be the Kenobi series on home video. Because they have done a lot of things from Disney Plus on physical copy. I don't know what it's going to be. It kind of came out of the blue. So we'll see.
Why? See, I'll do you one better here. For us true film nerds here who loved Past Lives this year, we know Celine Song's next film, a rom-com called Materialists, about a matchmaker who falls in love with a client, and it stars Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and Chris Evans, who are in talks to star. Sign me up. Like every single thing about that. Sign me up.
Disney announced they're releasing 2 Star Wars films in 2026. They will come out on May 22nd and December 18th. One of them is, I believe, the Mando and Grogu movie, and then the other is the rumored continuation of Rey's story arc movie.
Yeah. I have one piece of news here for all of us insufferable mega film nerds. Margot Robbie is going to star alongside Colin Farrell in a movie titled A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, directed by I hate trying to say him, Kogonada, who, again, Kyle, you probably never heard of him because he's like a very kind of art housey type of director. But Kyle, you actually should know about him now. Now looking at this, because where'd it go? Because it lists him, because Kogonada is apparently listed as a director on The Acolyte.
Interesting.
Which is weird, given. Where are you?
And
sorry. Sorry. No, pardon. But yeah, Kogonada is apparently a director on The Acolyte, which is whiplash for me, because if you look at because Kogonada is known for doing like very quiet, introspective, like indie art house movies, and he also did a highly acclaimed television show for Apple, for Apple called Pachinko. So seeing him doing directing for the Acolyte, and also doing this, I'm like, wait, what? But good for Kogonada. He's getting a paycheck.
I have to give more props to Paramount Plus. Fix our account, god damn it. But Christian, did you see the trailer for the Knuckles series?
I don't care.
I'm not in it on it either, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Brilliant job by whoever created the trailer to use "Knuck If You Buck" as the music for the Knuckles trailer.
Kyle, are you down with the Monkey Man?
The Monkey Man.
Do you not know what this is?
No.
So it's Dev Patel starring. It's a film that stars Dev Patel that he also wrote and directed. It was filmed ages ago and was going to go to Netflix, but Jordan Peele bought the rights and said, "Nah, this is going to a movie theater." For the lack of a description, it's like a Korean. It's like a John Wick film set in India. It looks amazing. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. But in more annoying news, why the fuck are we getting Moana 2 at Thanksgiving? Like, can we quickly unpack how messed up Disney and Pixar's animation slate is, where it's just fucking sequels to Zootopia and Toy Story and Inside Out? Like, how broken is your system when you can't make an original fucking concept film, which was your backbone for I don't know how many goddamn years, work in a fucking theater? Jesus Christ, you guys. Like, what the fuck?
This all episode.
What the actual fuck? Like, let's quickly touch through Pixar here. First we go to Pixar, because Pixar is not historically as much of a offender as this. If you'll let me pull up the list of films, please. Stop trying to hide it.
This all comes as Disney Plus lost 1.3 million subscribers in Q1 2024 after increasing prices.
But that's also because there's fucking nothing on the service right now.
True.
So, right, tell me where the drop off happens. This is the fullest of Pixar films: Toy Story, Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3. That's 1995 to 2010.
Pretty elite movies across the
board. Yeah, I like all three Toy Story films through this point are great. Cars 2. It's fine. Brave, Monsters University, Inside Out, Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, Cars 3, Coco, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, Onward, Soul, Luca, Turning Red, Lightyear, Elemental.
There's some good and bad.
Yes, but I feel like once you've hit past Toy Story 3, it is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sequels in there, and I will at least give them. Give them a pass on Onward, Soul, and Luca because COVID.
I think all three of those movies are actually pretty solid too.
But then we go to Disney, and specifically Disney Animation, because this is the Disney Animation is sadly a shell of what it used to be. Because if I'm just gonna go, let's just say starting in 2003, and I'm just going to say the notable ones because there's some we can just try and forget here. Taking out all the Pixar stuff. Chicken Little. That's a film that will last with us in our our generation. Meet the Robinsons. Fine. And then they kind of get on their run of Enchanted. We don't necessarily need to talk about Bolt. They do a Christmas Carol with the weird motion capture thing. Princess and the Frog, good. Tangled, good. We don't need to talk about Romeo and Juliet. They made a Winnie the Pooh movie? Frank and Winnie, Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, good, sure. Planes?
I haven't seen it.
Frozen. Okay. Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Moana, Then this is where I'm saying the wheels officially begin to fall off. Ralph Breaks the Internet, Mary Poppins Returns, Toy Story 4, Frozen 2. And then it's just been outside of Encanto, Raya and the Last Dragon, Strange World, and Wish. All of those kind of just fell flat on their face.
Raya was decent.
Raya's just pure kids movie. But it's even just so utterly formulaic and not that much depth that this is the same brand that made Moana and Zootopia and Big Hero 6. We are holding them to Raya and Strange World are fine. What are we doing here? And now their upcoming slates: Inside Out 2, Moana 2, Elio, which they literally punted over a year down the road, which surely that's a great sign, guys, right? Zootopia, and then a fifth Toy Story film, a third Frozen film, a fourth Frozen film, two untitled Pixar films, and an untitled Walt Disney animation film. What are we doing? What are we doing?
How are they staying frozen so long?
Because they can't let it go and think of new ideas.
They need to turn the heat on.
Goodbye, Josh Gad. I don't want to listen to your snowman anymore.
I will say I did find it funny today, as we're recording this. The Rock was on the Pat McAfee show talking about Moana.
Oh, guys, Ray. By the way, alongside Moana 2, they're still making the live-action Moana, which shouldn't fucking exist.
Yeah.
Hold on. I didn't even touch on the fact that they've been doing all these live-action remakes, which, by the way, the shitty live-action Lion King being the 10th highest-grossing film of all time is
embarrassing.
It is one of the greatest sins of capitalism in movie-going culture this century. Fuck the right off, brother. That movie does not deserve to be there. If I pull up the top grossing movies of all time, keyword not adjusted for inflation. Tell me which one of these things does not belong here. Ready? Avatar, Avengers Endgame, Avatar 2, Titanic, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Infinity War, No Way Home, Jurassic World, The Lion King, Avengers 1, Furious 7, Top Gun Maverick, Frozen 2, Barbie, Age of Ultron, Super Mario Bros., Black Panther, Deathly Hallows Part 2, The Last Jedi, and then Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom, which that shouldn't be there. But like, spoiler alert, the the Lion King being the 9th highest grossing film all time, Frozen 2 being 13th, which okay, like I
It's where the Frozen 2 is.
well it was piggybacking off of Frozen 1, which Frozen 2 only made like 160 million more. But it just shows because because that 160 million difference is the difference between 13th and 21st. Yeah, but it's like, no, you should not be there. You should not be 9th highest all time with, by the way, a peak of the 7th highest. A peak of being the 7th highest grossing film of all time. Like, no, get off my screen. Thank you.
Bob Iger says Marvel Studios will be focusing on their stronger franchises. Volume will be reduced going forward.
Bob, explain to me what's strong right now, because I clearly can't tell.
I don't like how everything posted about this is including the Endgame poster. We don't need to do a reset of everything. I've seen people talking about this. Stop with the fucking soft reset of the entire MCU. There's an entire movie that is supposed to do that.
Secret Wars.
It's called Secret Wars. It blows up everything. Let's get to Secret Wars. But yeah. James Gunn has finished writing Peacemaker Season 2. Let's fucking go.
Hold on. Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to star in a heist thriller from the director of Hell or High Water. Yes, please.
I like
Oh, and we finally got a teaser for Cuckoo. Let's go. Do you know what Cuckoo is?
No.
So, okay. This is only a 34-second teaser, but it's a film that was filmed in Germany. But this has been a film that we haven't had a release date on, but it's a Hunter Schafer movie, and it's being distributed by Neon, which Neon alone makes it interesting. And speaking of Neon, we also got a trailer for Longlegs, which is it's so wonderful where you know next to nothing about a movie and the trailer still shows you next to nothing. And basically all you know is Micah Monroe is playing an FBI agent and Nick Cage is a serial killer. And it's written by the son it is directed by the son of Anthony Perkins. Yes, that Anthony Perkins from Psycho. And you're like, okay, sign me up. I'm good. Let's do this.
Funimation will shut down and officially merge with Crunchyroll on April 2nd.
And people are losing their digital copies. And guys, ready? Say it with me. I've been saying it forever. Physical media. Buy your fucking DVDs.
Which it's a shame that Best Buy is started uprooting.
Don't get me started on it. It literally just forces more people to Amazon, which is the stupidest fucking thing ever. But either way,
watch history NQ can migrate over. Digital purchases on Funimation won't be supported, and pricing increases to $100 a year in 2025. I
mean, for people who actively use Crunchyroll, that's still a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Like
it's for big anime fans, you're paying less than $10 a month. With that, I don't know, sounds pretty good to me.
This one was interesting because it also skyrocketed my Disney stock price. Disney and Fortnite are partnering to make a new gaming universe. Disney has invested $1.5 billion into Epic Games. Quote, our biggest foray in the gaming space ever.
And while I find this immensely stupid, I will say, if anything's become clear over the last 5 years, it's that Fortnite's arguably up there with TikTok in terms of one of the best marketing tools that exist to the younger generations. In terms of news that makes me both smile and groan and go, smile, groan, and make me go, why are you talking about this? James Cameron reveals he already has plans for Avatar 6 and 7. James, fucking finish 5 first. I'm begging you, buddy. I'm begging you. We can't talk about 6 and 7 yet.
Which Avatar is included in that Epic Games universe. It was kind of its own individual title in the trailer alongside Marvel, Disney, Star Wars. They showed Avatar as its own individual entity, which was interesting.
All right, hold on. I need to let one loose that will get us aggregated or canceled by the most psycho fan base on earth. Yes, I've said it. Taylor Swift.
Oh, no.
Fuck your album name. I'm sorry. I get you want to bully Joe for breaking up with him, but don't drag my Irish Kings, Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott, into your bullshit album name, all right? Fuck off.
Just so everyone is clear, the views and takes from Christian Wisnewski do not reflect those of everybody involved in the Streamer Season podcast. Shout out to the Swifties and go Chiefs. Let's get something that's funny for Christian because it fits his frame of mind. It's Dune 2 in that popcorn bucket. Josh Brolin, quote, I'm not sticking my hand in that. If I saw someone in the theater with one of those buckets, I'm going to be like, okay, you're an idiot.
I mean, fair. Like, all of us working there are... The first time we saw that bucket, we're like, what the fuck is this? In news for us unsufferable film nerds, the new Paul Thomas Anderson film, which is rumored to be an adaptation of Violin, which was already set to star Leonardo DiCaprio and Regina Hall, has reportedly added Tiana Taylor and Alana Haim. Us insufferable film nerds are here, but also because we never got the chance to address it, and I think we actually have to talk about this because, well, okay, we actually have to talk about two things. First, Catherine O'Hara in Last of Us Season 2. I need there to be a character named Kevin so she can yell Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
No, Kevin. Carl Weathers, rest in peace.
Cheers to a legend that spanned multiple generations, multiple projects, from Rocky to Terminator to Star Wars
The Predator.
Happy Gilmore.
Get on, you son of a bitch.
And that
Arrested
was
Development.
regular show.
Action Jackson. Happy Gilmore.
That was one of the first like celebrity deaths that like hurt in recent memory because it kind of came out of nowhere and just a bummer. Carl Weathers was like childhood, obviously, from where we live and how gospel it is to raise your kids watching Rocky. He's an icon.
I'm all raise my kids watching Creed. Fuck you.
He will be severely missed, and I think Sylvester Stallone's video and Adam Sandler's posts spoke volumes to just how awesome Carl Weathers was, and he's going to live on through every project. that he was a part of.
Is there anything else we need to touch on?
I want to give some love to my boy Kumail Nanjiani because he came out this week that he had to start going to therapy over the bad reviews from the Eternals. My boy put in work for that movie. He said, I was too aware of it. I was reading every review. I worked so hard for it. My boy got jacked. He was doing the damn thing. I love Kumail. I think he is one of the funnier and just like well-rounded actors we have right now. If y'all motherfuckers were making my boy feel bad, show yourself, because Kumail is that dude, and when I read that, I felt sad for my guy. Like, he shouldn't have to go through that type of shit because you fucking cretins want to leave bad reviews about a movie. So that sucked to read because he's super talented and deserves better than to have to be forced into therapy from you fucking weirdos online.
Kyle, I've just seen a poll that I need to ask you. Yes or no, is a bagel a pastry?
Oh.
I know, it's an interesting one. I think I lean no, because to me a pastry has to have some type of filling necessarily implied.
Yeah.
Even though things like puff pastry exists, though puff pastry exists to be put on top of something, not to have something put in it.
Oh. I would say a plain bagel, like nothing in it, is not. But if you're putting cream cheese in it,
It's a sandwich.
oh, fuck you.
It's a sandwich.
God damn it.
A bagel cut in half with cream cheese then put on it and put back together is fundamentally a sandwich.
I loathe you for saying this. Especially at 1 a.m.
Coffee? Donuts?
Yeah, let us know in the YouTube comment section if a bagel is a pastry.
We're on TikTok. Kyle, do you dare say the name 3 times?
Beetlejuice times 3.
On September 6th, we will see Michael Keaton be Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Don't you dare say it again. I don't know how good this movie's going to be, but it has Jenna Ortega, it has Winona Ryder, and it has Michael Keaton back as Beetlejuice.
Here for it.
If the trailer has anywhere near the energy of Michael Keaton from God knows how many years ago, I will go see it, despite not being the biggest fan of the Beetlejuice movie, because I just need that character in my life.
Gaten Matarazzo says Stranger Things needs to kill more characters. Quote,
Sure, do it, cowards.
This show would be so much better if the stakes were much higher. Like at any moment, any of these kids can kick it. We're all too safe.
And then, you know what? Let's wrap it up on this note, right? Because, and we talked about this on my top 10 things for this year when the show didn't have a date, and I said, if this show's actually going to come out this year, it's like probably 6 or 7 for me. Squid Game Season 2 is confirmed for 2024, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
One last thing that I have, just some fun crossover into the pop culture and fashion world. The Nike Air Flightposite Metallic Gold will be returning for holiday 2024. And Christian, to put it in perspective, these are the Green Goblin shoes. They look pretty cool. That's all we got for you guys. Make sure you're following us on the socials at StreamerSZN on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, and at StreamerSZN Pod on TikTok. Follow Christian at the Wiz_PHI. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, helps more people find Streamer Season. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Let's get to 800 subscribers before the end of February. And get your merch, phiapparel.co, code Underground for 10% off your orders. It's been another edition of Streamer Season, the exclusive streaming platform TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Christian, I'm KB. We are going to go combine all of our streaming platforms in the air. But until next time, we'll catch you next time.